Hello, I'm Malcolm Hazlitt. What happens when the lease on a theatre runs out with the Fringe on in Adelaide? And a very special friend of mine, Raymond Crowe. Join us next on OurTime. Our special guests are Cee Jay Joh, who is an actor-producer, and director Joe Hartog. Welcome.
We are very pleased to be here.
Oh, I'm very pleased you're here.
Well, thank you very much.
Because we're talking about a play. The background of the play is it's mid-19, 1968, and a middle-aged white Australian war veteran meets
a young Pakistani student, international student.
Now, being set in 1968 means that as white Australians, we haven't quite got used to the immigration of people from all over the world coming into this country, changing our food habits, introducing us to a whole lot of things we never knew about before. And so how does the play evolve? What's the storyline? Do I talk to the director or the actor? Who talks first?
I'll talk first.
Okay.
The story progresses in that they meet, and then there is a conversation that goes on for about 50 minutes between these two. But the problem is that their cultural background makes it seem that at times they meet each other, I mean mentally meet each other, but they're missing each other all over the place. So there's a lot of...
And that's because we didn't really understand, we've only just recently really started to understand people from everywhere, that we're all the same.
That's right, and also of course at the time, in the late 60s, there would have been still kind of a strong sense of white dominance and white superiority.
English, really.
Yeah,
English. Very English.
Yeah.
The Beatles were, they took over the world musically, and we were sort of connected very much to the UK.
And I think the only thing that brought non-whites into this country was the colonial plan that went on for a while in the late 50s, early 60s. And then when it was finally ditched, the White Australia policy in 66, of course, there wasn't a flood of people coming in.
No.
And at the time, and I came to Australia first from Holland.
From Holland.
In 65. So this area, I actually remember it quite well.
But you would have assimilated relatively well, I would assume.
Yeah, it wasn't. Northern Europeans didn't have a problem.
No.
At the time, it was the Greeks and the Italians, the Dagos and the Wogs.
Yep. And then Vietnamese.
And then it became later, then they were proper Australians.
Yes.
Then we got another one. And
yeah, it's often you get hear a Greek or Italian person sending them up and thinking, hang on, wait a minute. Well, we're all immigrants here at the end of the day, let's face it, because the original people here, First Nation people, had it all together, and then we came and messed it up. So how do you feel coming into the country? Because you weren't born here, were you?
No, I was not born here. I was born and raised in India.
Yep, in the Punjab.
Yes, in Punjab, North India. And when I came here, I think I relatively have a good experience overall. There was few incidents which were a bit, not really good ones, but I overall had a good experience.
So has that helped you as an actor playing the role?
Yes, when I read the play first time, I felt like it's part of my own story being in Australia. Right. There are incidents which happened to me while being in this country, which can easily, I can relate to the play, and that's why I always wanted to do this play. And last year when I met Joe, and I requested him to direct this play, and he loved it, and so we formed a team, and now.
Sometimes, from an audience perspective, we're sitting during the Fringe, we're often sitting in an uncomfortable seat, trying to absorb what's being shown, is being presented to us. An hour is a good time for most people because their concentration can reduce to that time.
Yeah.
But from the actor's perspective, you've got to fit so much character and so much meaning into such a short time. How have you found that?
Yeah, like I said, there are so many things which I can easily relate to it.
Right.
Especially the character's background. He's coming from Pakistan, and I'm coming from India. They were not, when the play was written, before that, 20 years before the play was written, they were just one country. And still, the culture, the language, the food is same. I went to a Pakistani restaurant a few days ago, and I was like, wow, why we have two countries? It just the same thing. I'm eating the same food, what I eat in an Indian restaurant or at home. And the language, the songs what they were playing in the restaurant, they were Indian Bollywood songs.
Right.
And I was like, what's the
You look
difference?
like a Bollywood actor.
Yeah.
He does, doesn't he?
He does, and he'd love to be one.
I did some work in Bollywood, and 2 years ago I came back here.
Right.
Before the COVID, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Before the COVID hit,
Yes.
yes, exactly. Joe, I said in the introduction about the theatre, because the theatre is sort of earmarked not to remain a theatre, and it's been a theatre for a very long time here in Adelaide, right in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
What's the background story of that you can talk about?
Well, the theatre itself, of course, is...
There's two there, actually, isn't there?
well, yes, there are two. There's one, a main theatre and a studio theatre.
The studio theatre.
The studio theatre only holds 45, and the
Right.
main theatre about 85 or 90.
And this plays on in the main theatre?
In the main theatre.
Right.
The studio is now being used in the Fringe, but on the whole they don't use it much because it's a really small space.
It's more like a rehearsal space.
Yeah, and it works very well that way.
However, the theatre is not long for this
No,
world.
but before it was the Bakehouse, of course, there was the Red Shed, and before it was the Red Shed, it was Troop. So the history of that
It's had a
place
history, yes.
goes quite a long way back.
But it was a bakehouse originally,
Very long
a long time ago.
Yeah, and there's still evidence of that. There's still the chute where the flour would come down.
Right.
It's still there. You can recognise it still.
Well, that's the thing, both here in Adelaide and certainly in Melbourne. Small venues actually were the backbone of the young actors and the theatre industry staying alive, really. And also the chance for writers to write Australian plays and to have somewhere to play them.
Yeah.
And the Bakehouse has certainly done that here in South Australia.
Yeah, and the Bakehouse has always been, well, it's been my home for the past couple of decades, really. But it's such a marvellously adaptable space because it's a rough space. So you don't have to be too careful about the floor, you don't have to be too careful about the walls, you don't have to be too careful about the infrastructure. It doesn't have everything, but it does, it allows you to do things
From
in
the
there.
point of view of a director, though,
I love it. That's what I love.
that's what you love.
Yeah.
Smashing up a theatre.
Well, no, but you can nail things or screw things in the floor. But try to do that in a little theatre in...
Yes, well, anywhere, really.
Yeah, anywhere.
Yes.
But apart from that, it's just such a warm space, really. And the fact that it closes is a real tragedy. And I said at the time that you can have restaurant in the COVID era. Certainly, you can have restaurants or bars closing down. But if one bar closes down, there's still another one.
Yes.
But you close the
But
theatre down.
we don't have a great deal.
We don't have that many theatres.
Well, not theatres of that sort of
Yeah.
size that can do this type of
Yeah,
work.
that's exactly right.
Have you obviously enjoyed the rehearsal period working with the other actor who is?
Brendan Cooney, he's playing Norm. Yeah, he's a local South Australian actor, brilliant actor, and he has been working with Joe for a long time. Yeah.
And that's a good relationship, isn't it, when you understand what your actors are capable of doing?
It's lovely to work with people you've worked with before.
Yeah. Family, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it becomes family. What I tried a lot to do in the last 10, 15 years was to have most of the cast that I would know, but I always try to get one new person in that I hadn't worked with before, because then you can sort of extend your family a bit, otherwise it becomes a little bit small. And that worked really well.
Diversity too,
Yeah.
you need the diversity of roles.
And until I retired from Flinders University, where I was a lecturer, of course, I always had this new crop of actors coming up one year after the next. So I tended to work with quite young people. Now, because I've been retired for some time, I tend to work...
Why did you retire?
I know I
See,
should...
we can't. But that's the truth.
Yeah, but I've done a lot more theatre since I retired from the Flinders University.
Yes. Instead of teaching and overseeing, yes, I understand that.
has certain advantages.
So where do you feel your career is going? Because obviously this is something you wanted to do, but where do you want to go after this?
I would have worked in Bollywood, like if COVID wouldn't have happened. I really I was being shortlisted for big projects, but then I came over here. So to be honest, I am an actor, and wherever the work will take me, I will go.
You'll go, yes.
Yeah. So
it's a gypsy lifestyle.
it's a gypsy
really,
lifestyle, true, that's right.
I understand that completely. Look, I really hope your show is successful. Just remind us, the characters in the show are you playing...
I'm playing Ahmed.
Who is from?
Pakistan.
And the other actor is from here, as in
Brandon
Australia?
Cooney, yes.
Yep.
He's playing Norm.
And is there a resolution that's amicable to both of you, or are we left up in the air with questions?
I think I'm going to answer that.
Sure.
I think we're left up with questions. I think because the basis of the play, and the reason why we still do it now, is because of Australia's peculiar relationships with non-Australians, and particularly with coloured Australians. And what we find now, and still find, of course, that racism, you don't have to scratch too deeply, you find it quite easily. And if you look at it now, you know, with the trouble in the Middle East, and of course we all of a sudden start to distrust all Muslims. We have a few African people, Sudanese gangs in Melbourne, and all of a sudden we can't trust a single African if we, you know.
Yes, we need to understand that humans are humans.
Yeah.
We've just got to find the best way to communicate. And you're communicating at the Bakehouse, and the show starts in a week or so. So I hope you have a fantastic season.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on challenging something like that. Good luck with whatever happens with the Bakehouse in the future. And we'll be back with the amazing Raymond Crowe. Welcome back to Our Time. Our special guest is Raymond Crowe. And full disclosure, we've been friends for...
Since I was 18 years old.
Amazing. That must have been 2 years ago
2 years.
for both of us.
I don't think so.
Now, Ray, the reason you're here is because you're doing something that I don't know that you have ever done for a long time, at least.
Perform.
And that's a fringe show. No, you mad fool.
I am. I'm doing a fringe show here in Adelaide.
But we should explain why you're doing that, because during COVID, you would normally be travelling the world doing the most amazing things.
I would be, and I was right up till just when COVID hit. I was in Portugal. I got home, and then it all went belly up.
It did. And to prove that, let's have a look at some vision of Raymond doing the things that Raymond is famous for.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's my name.
It is.
Unusualist.
You are.
That's when I was younger, I think. People... Oh.
Now, was this on, with that last shot was in Australia's Got Talent?
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
This is an American show. That's back
So
in
you went to
Australia.
America mainly because Channel 9, I think, illegally put to air some of your work, the Shadow Puppets?
No. Well, yeah, the hand shadows were a viral hit, and I've been living off them ever since. To What a Wonderful World. And now it turns out that looks good. I'm the world's most watched hand shadow artist in history.
And been copied. Well, here's some of it.
Oh yes, there's my there's my little
200 million. Goodness
200 million.
me.
Yeah, it's probably more than that now.
They should know.
Well, you can't see. It keeps turning up. This was a show I was on in America.
It's amazing, though, that basically a boy from Adelaide came up with some original ideas, and particularly to be on this particular show that was such a worldwide piece.
Yeah, well, you can get lucky.
And this song, particularly, Wonderful World.
It turns out the hand shadows are universal. Every culture in the world did hand shadow, or does do hand shadows when they're children. And
Was that the Raw Variety? Or no,
that was
that's
America's
Radio
Got Talent.
City Musical.
Yeah, that was Radio City Musical. There's Dear Dawn Friends. She was very nice to me.
This is obviously one of your promo.
This is a show reel.
Show reels, yes.
My propaganda.
Well, it is.
Yeah. And,
but the reason we're showing it is because you've affected so many people all around the world. You've taken them to a place of fantasy that is somewhere in your head. He was tall.
He was. He didn't know what was happening. Poor man. You okay?
Don't touch me.
Michael, come over here, come over. Michael, turn the cards face down. Spread them into a fan. You're very good at this.
No.
Okay, come here. Kelly, I want you to take your finger, run it along the cards. Now, when you get to a card you like, you okay? Yeah, great. You have to...
Mesmerized.
Yes, well, that's it.
I know what happens next.
Do you?
I do.
Well,
You have to go and see your show to find out.
Yeah.
This is an amazing piece that just has stunned so many people.
Yeah, it's nice to do, you know, borrowing an object from the audience that comes alive.
And dances with you.
That's me again when I was younger. There's good nice things about this. I
Where
get to
did the
reminisce.
unusualist come from?
Well, I used to ask people how they describe what I do, and because I have so many different skills in the act, they say,
Including this new skill.
Oh yes, silhouette. Yes, silhouette artistry.
And you've brought all that tonight to do one of me, right?
Yeah. Oh well, no. Unfortunately, we don't have enough paper for you.
Evil.
Quite evil. Yeah. Oh,
What a great set that is.
yeah, they did a beautiful job on that. Oh, this is with the Illusionists. This is the show that I've toured in Europe and Asia and the US and Canada, in fact, with this, and the UAE. Oh, that was me.
It's just how lovely to see, just to see all of those things.
Oh, well, it's interesting when you put together a promo tape. You have to try and have just moments of something that are going to inspire people to book you, basically.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
If only I had a handkerchief because my nose.
Oh, well,
is-
what do you know? Hang on. Just, you know, when I read books as a kid, they were sort of old-fashioned magic books, and they'd say, "Oh, borrow a gentleman's handkerchief." And there's two things wrong with that. Most people don't have a hanky,
Not
and it's
anymore.
really hard to find a thing. These used to be king-size hankies. Do you remember those? I used to borrow them from my dad. They were a lot bigger than this when I was a kid. They looked a lot bigger. I'll see if I can get it about the same size. It's just there we go. That'll do. You're incredible. And oh, sorry, naughty. Now these are silly things that I read as, but I love this stuff. If you. It's a living. This is how old the books were that I used to read. This is from World War I. This was popular, and this is something the boys did to amuse themselves in the trenches. That we can show on TV. So a little poem goes with it. Are you ready?
Right.
Princess Fatima was a dancer gay, and for 50 cents she would dance this way. But if you should $1 pay, then tarara boom die. It sort of leg spins up, and times have changed.
They have. But this isn't what's in your show for the
Oh,
film.
actually, some of it is. But it's done a lot more. But it's done with charm. And,
With charm.
Well, no, because I like things that are simple. You've always liked me because of that fact.
Because you're simple, yes, exactly.
Can I do one more?
Yes.
Okay, this is a really old one. You might this is my granny. Here you go. Do you want to say hello? Wait, which one do I go? That one over there?
Yes.
Hello, you little darling. Oh, you're a lovely little man.
Oh, well, it's nice to see you, Granny.
Yeah, give us a kiss, would you?
Oh.
Now, not all puppets or grannies were nice.
No,
Okay, so
no.
that's.
The reason that you're called an unusualist is because your work isn't the traditional magic sort of look at this and here's the top hat and
I decided
watch the rabbit.
Yeah, I like things that make you go, oh, more than ah.
The delight.
And they're cheaper too, as you can see. So
Yes. But your work is genuinely delightful, I think.
oh, thank you. It's people say it's sort of childlike, and I think that's.
I've always thought of you as a child. Yeah.
Well, that's. Well, you knew me when I was virtually a child.
I did, in fact.
Yeah.
In your grey tracksuit.
That's me. Yes.
Fixing it. Can I tell a quick story? Because Ray I met Ray a long time ago at the talent school, and he came in a grey tracksuit, and which I always thought of an elephant tracksuit. Anyway, I was very impressed with him and what he was capable of doing. So I wrote a show for him called The Outer Space Collector.
That's right.
And we made together a big
spaceship.
spaceship thing.
Made a spaceship,
and it was
yeah.
all tricked up to do all these fabulous things that relied on electricity. And it was in a shopping mall. and the cleaner apparently came and cleaned and pulled the PowerPoint out, so none of the electric things worked, including some music and other stuff. And a show that was due to run 30 minutes ran for about 5.5 or something. And I just remember your face dressed in a spaceman's helmet thing, with sweat running down. And before this job, you were working fixing telephone answering machines.
I was, yes, that was.
And he looked up into my face and sort of said, "I gave up fixing telephone answering machines for this."
What? Showbiz.
I've got it on tape.
Well, we don't really want it.
How much money do you want me to...
There isn't enough money, I don't think.
Raymond, but because of the COVID thing, because you can't travel, you've decided, with the help of another interesting old friend of ours...
Yes, Glenn Nicholas, who was a student with the same mime teacher as me. I asked... Madame Zora Semberova. I said, "Oh, were you interested in directing?" He said, "I'll do it for nothing," which was exactly the right price.
Yes.
Because that's about how much money I had left after COVID. Because, I enjoyed the first year because I'd been travelling for so much.
Yeah, nice to be home.
But the second year was a bit of a drag.
And you developed this lovely little theatre at home.
Yeah. I built my own little theatre.
Yes, it's just fantastic.
For fun. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
But having Glenn along and reconnecting with somebody, Glenn Nicholas, of course, is well known throughout Australia, both initially as a busker. He was on Here's Humphrey at the same time I was doing that. And then he went to Melbourne and did a lot of work with Sean McAuliffe, and he had his own show on the ABC. Yes.
Glenn was an amazing talent, and still is. And so it's been nice to actually, after all these years, because I was only 18 when I first met Glenn, to reconnect. And it's just so nice when you speak the same language, because we studied mime, so we know about all these illusionary techniques. And
the nuances.
That's really good. Thank you.
And also, well, yes, you do ventriloquism as well in the show.
Very bad.
Without the it's not so bad. Okay. Without the dolls, that absolutely people fall on the floor laughing at.
I do. I got my little. Do you want to say my little boy?
Yes.
Okay, little Mo. Did you want to say hello to Malcolm? No. No, he doesn't want to say.
But I'd like to talk to him. Oh, listen.
He won't do it.
He needs a nappy change.
It's me. I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. See, okay.
Raymond, good luck with the show. You're on where in the Fringe?
We're at the Garden of Unearthly Delights, and we run for the whole time of the Fringe, 6:30.
So you're on already?
I'm on already.
And how's it going?
It's going fabulous.
Sell-out audiences.
And we are so COVID safe. I don't even know. It's good, because last year I was at the Opera House, and we had big COVID rules in a magic show there. So I've
Sydney.
And I've implemented those in my show. So I don't want to get sick. People don't want to get sick.
No.
And
I've already had it. I'm fine.
Have you?
I have had COVID. Yes.
Really?
And if you're vaccinated, it's not so bad.
No, I know. A friend of mine, again, just this week.
Peter Thorpe.
And he's
been on this show.
Has he?
As long as Glenn has too.
Well, there you go.
Everybody, and now you're here.
It's complete.
But seriously, good luck with the show.
Oh, thank you, Malcolm.
You are worth seeing anywhere, anytime. And we'll be back with all our guests in just a tick. A great conversation with some very talented people. Joe, your show that you've directed is called?
It's called Norman Ahmed by Alex Buzo, and it dates from 1968, but it still has a lot to tell us.
Okay, and the name of the show is actually The Two Characters.
Is The Two Characters, where Cee Jay...
And obviously you play...
Ahmed.
Who is a person from...
Pakistan.
But you're not from Pakistan.
No, I'm not from Pakistan, but I'm from India, but I can relate to Pakistan because...
It's next door.
Next door.
Same food, same everything, as we were saying.
Two sons of the same mother.
But it's great for people to see because it still resonates today, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And we have a brilliant other actor with Brendan Cooney who plays his foil. Foil is a good, good word.
And Raymond, you're a foil for yourself.
That's right. I've foiled myself many times. It's true.
And your show's called?
Unusualism.
Funny about that, as you are an unusualist.
Odd is what other people have said.
These people are all performing in the Adelaide Fringe, and the Adelaide Fringe needs you to go and see it. So I hope you have a great time enjoying what Adelaide has to offer, wherever you may come from in Australia. Until next time on Our Time, keep yourself nice till then, and thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
See you soon.